Finland, a country that touches the Arctic Circle and a place where people battle Mother Nature all winter long. Tonight, 5 men will start their war on ice. The city of Helsinki hosts the 1999 World Figure Skating Championships. Alexei Yagudin leads the dominant Russian men's team. His dreams came true last year when he won his first world championship. His teammate, Yevgeny Plishenko, whose powerful legs propel him to unbelievable quadruple jumps. And countryman Alexei Urmanov, the '94 Olympic gold medalist. Canada's Elvis Stoiko used his own quadruple jump to ascend atop the world platform in '97 for the 3rd time. And he overcome injury to do it again. And U.S. champion Michael Weiss will challenge. He's already completed his first quad jump during qualifying. The men begin their fight for a world championship tonight from Helsinki. No sign of Santa Claus yet, but his reindeer outside having fun here in Finland. A fresh layer of snow has fallen today. It covers the trees and the hills. An opportunity for the folks to get outside and enjoy the natural setting. That is, if you're brave enough to go out there with that wind whipping off the Baltic Sea. We welcome you inside Hartwelll Arena for our coverage of the 1999 World Figure Skating Championships presented by MasterCard. Tonight, it's an elite group of men who take the ice for their short program. They've already skated once in the qualifying round. That counts for 20% of the overall score. Tonight is 30%, and in the free skate counts for 50%. You can catch that on ABC Sports tomorrow night in prime time. Well, along with Dick Button and Brian Boitano, Leslie Visser here as well. I'm Terry Gannon. We welcome you as we begin our coverage. It will continue throughout the week and over the weekend. And taking the ice first, Zheng Xin Guo of China. And he can jump out of the arena. We've seen him at the World Championships, at the Olympics, do 2 quadruple jumps in his program, Brian.
He's incredible because he can literally land a jump at a standstill and do a triple off that standstill. And so he has the quickest reflexes I've seen ever, maybe.
China.
And the quadruple jumps, you can attempt them in the short program. That's part of the new system. And also in the qualifying round, in fact, we've seen 6 different skaters land quads.
Yeah.
It has become the thing in men's skating, obviously.
And he's one of 3 guys that are going to be trying it tonight. And in the future, he's going to need this, so it's a good idea for him.
But the fascinating fact is that he's chosen the Lord of the Dance as music for this short program.
Michael Flatley goes to China.
Or Shenzhen Guo goes to Ireland. His first move, a triple axel. Triple toe loop.
That was beautiful. He didn't even do that in the 6-minute warm-up that he just had before this.
Remember, there are 8 elements in these short programs that must be done. Any deviation or variation from them causes a major and mandatory markdown. And will probably sink the hope of anyone for winning a gold medal.
Quad toe. It is so easy for him. He breaks out with enough height to do another rotation. axel, and I think it's going to be it's going to be difficult for the other skaters to even technically match this. His combination was great, his quad was incredible, and his spinning is actually really good. It's up there with his jumping ability.
Well, that sit spin was disaster. He wasn't even down into a full sitting position. I mean, if they were going to mark him correctly, they would mark him down to like a 4.5 on that one mark.
Did you see the first spin? It was excellent.
That was the flying spin was great.
Yeah. Good job.
You know, the problem is with the marking that the judges will mark you down when you make a mistake in a triple jump, but they won't mark you down when you do a rather mediocre element that is also required. It's not even Steven. But this was a very strong performance.
Zheng Jin Guo of China, 23 years of age, from Harbin, has trained with Chenin Zhao, the great pair from China, and is, you and I have talked about, Dick, a lot of Chinese skaters coming up through the ranks.
Here you see the triple axel, triple toe. He lands with so much speed. Watch how big this triple toe. It's bigger than the first jump. He has plenty of time to check out. Gorgeous. Quad toe. His reflexes are so quick. Watch him pole vault off this left toe right here. Look at how high it is. He has plenty of time. It's clearly on one foot, clearly clean. Beautiful.
Required element.
Pulling off the first quad jump in the short program at the World Championships. Zheng Jin Guo.
5.4.
It's interesting the range of marks from a 5.7 from Denmark and to a 5.3 from Poland.
That first set of marks for required elements, of course.
Presentation.
And the second set for presentation.
And I think those indicate very clearly the fact that they don't think that his style is quite as good as it could be. And I think we'll see have a better picture in the free program.
Guo of China, though, a great way to start here in Helsinki.
Thank you.
Up next, Timothy Gable, the young American star, takes the ice from Helsinki. Nighttime in Helsinki, the capital city of Finland, and a look at Hartwell Arena, the site this week of the 1999 World Figure Skating Championships presented by MasterCard. Hi again, everybody. I'm Terry Gannon. We welcome you back inside. Our coverage of the men's short program already underway. We'll be with you all week here on ESPN2 and through the weekend on ABC Sports as well. Over 13 hours of coverage from Hartwell Arena, and the skaters competing to be called the world's finest. Certainly one of the finest fields in the men's competition you're going to find anywhere. And Dick Button, some big names, some stars competing. Even with the stiff competition, though, the Americans skating very well so far.
Well, you know, the new kid on the block, along with Timothy Gable, is Trifon Zivanovic. Now, he's just having the time of his life. He's sort of a cross between a street kid and a surfer dude. And I've got to tell you, when you watch him skate, you really have to smile.
You know a lot of surfer dudes, don't you?
I am one. What are you talking about? And then there's Michael Weiss. Now, he's done a lot of quadruples in practice through the years, but he's never landed one on competition. Well, he did here. He landed it cleanly, and I've got to tell you, the entire American contingent just heaved a big sigh of relief and applauded violently. It was just nice to see.
Now, besides the Americans, a lot of attention, obviously, on the Russian troika. You've got the '94 Olympic champion, Alexei Urmanov, Yevgeny Plushenko, and then Alexei Yagudin, who's the reigning world champion.
And he's also so hard-headed for this event that he's not going to let anything stand in his way. The problem is that he's got a bad leg, and it's swelling up on him. And I think he just did not let that hold him back at all, and skated full out in the qualifying rounds and was brilliant.
As determined as ever. We talked to him
extraordinary
throughout the week. Well, we turn from one Olympic champion to another, Brian Boitano. One other name that we haven't talked about yet, and that is the three-time world champion Elvis Stojko of Canada. He's got the groin injury. He says he's about 100%, but in the qualifying round, Elvis was in the building, but it wasn't the king we're used to.
Well, we did, Terry, see Elvis struggle a little bit through the qualifying round. Maybe that's because it was 11 o'clock in the morning and it's very difficult to skate that early, or maybe it's because there was no audience here to inspire him. Tonight, he skates in a place that he likes, last place. This is difficult because of the pressure, but it's great for the marks. And I think that we're going to see the fighter in Elvis come out tonight, the person that we've always known.
Well, here are the 8 required elements in this men's short program. It lasts 2 minutes and 40 seconds, and it's now worth 30% of the overall score. Obviously, you've got to pull off all of these or points are deducted, and you can attempt the quad nowadays in the men's short program. And set to go right now, the 18-year-old from Rolling Meadows, Illinois, the bronze medalist from the U.S. National Championships, Timothy Gable. He's already caused quite a stir with what he did in the qualifying round.
Watch his quad south now. He's perfectly balanced in the air. Not too far forward, not too far back. It creates a lot of flow when it comes out.
Second time that he has landed that in competition, but the first time it's ever been landed at the World Championships. Timothy Gable with his short program.
The interesting thing about Timothy, he's the only skater that missed the practice this morning. He wasn't on the practice, and usually guys use the practice to get out all the last-minute kinks.
Spin combination. The music, Beetlejuice, motion picture.
And this is a different short program that he has used as of late. He's gone back to one that he's used in the past.
Rotation in the air. I think the fact that he's so slender, so slim-hipped, helps that tremendously. Look at this triple flip.
Such a great warm-up for him. It's so easy.
Wasn't as good as it could have been. Steps into a double axel. The fifth element, circular footwork.
I've seen practices where he hasn't done triple axels as good as that one he did, even though he didn't do the triple toe afterwards. He's a great competitor, and he always rises to the challenge.
This is straight line footwork. And his final requirement, a chain sit spin. Remember, there's a minimum of 8 revolutions with one change of foot. Must be a minimum of 6 revolutions on each foot. You know, that was a very good performance. It was first rate all the way through, but it didn't quite sparkle. His jumps were not as high as I've seen him do. They weren't as crisp. They didn't take off and give it. The edges weren't sharp and strong, and I think that is not going to give him as good marks as he could have had.
Here we're seeing that triple flip. It's really a warm-up for him. It's so easy. The rotation is so quick in the air.
But did you notice him slip off the toe pick?
I do.
It did not give him the height that he should have had.
Watch this triple axel. There's a reflex a skater has on the landing of this triple axel. He has a reflex right here. Right here, he decides not to do the triple. It's a reflex action that each skater has.
5-2, 5-2.
He won a silver medal at the Junior Worlds in '97. This is his first trip to the Senior World Championships. There's his coach, Carol Heiss-Jenkins, an Olympic champion herself. The first set of marks, 4.8 to 5.2.
Yes, but look at that. 2 marks in the 4.8 to 4.9 level, and then a 5.0 from Hungary. Those are not strong technical marks.
5.0 to 5.3 for Timothy Gable and his effort here in the short program.
Halfway done.
Here's Andrei Vlashenko of Germany. He's been on the scene for quite some time. Figure skating fans know him well. 4-time national champion of Germany, twice the Latvian national champion when he lived and skated there.
Yeah, he was really one of the group of skaters being pushed about 3 years ago with Yagudin and Vlashenko, and he just didn't keep up with the pack.
24 years old now.
Music, Blues for the Clock by Eddie Lewis. was interesting, the way he leaned out of the circle, and that prevented him from doing a triple toe to the second jump and only a double. He sort of slipped off the ice on that one, too.
Quality of his skating, though. He has a certain sophistication.
He's musical, too. Minimum of 6 revolutions on each foot.
I think he's going to be happy with that performance. It was a clean performance, and he's had a lot of bad performances this year, and it was solid.
That's coming off a qualifying effort, too, that maybe was as clean as we've seen in a long time from him as well.
Absolutely. Very difficult to do these triple jumps and the combination, the elements that he has to, and also be musical and musical and artistic along with it. And look at this as he steps right up into this axle. Very nice. But you see him leaning out of the center of the circle, and that prevented him from doing a triple layer.
5-2, 5-3. 5-3, 5-2.
Well, he finished 4th in his qualifying group. We'll see what Andrei Vlashenko does with the judges here. First set of marks in the 5-2, 5-3 range.
Those marks are actually look at the presentation marks are very high. 5.5s and 5.6s, as they deservedly should be. That was a very mature performance.
24-year-old Andrei Vlashenko of Stuttgart, Germany.
Thank you.
And up next, Trifon Zivanovic, the U.S. silver medalist from the national championships on a night that he expected to be a good one. In fact, he told his coach, Gary Visconti, just that.
I told my coach before I went out there for that performance, I said, I'm just going to go for it. And it just one at a time, each thing just happened and happened and happened. And by the end of the program, it seemed like it lasted about 10 seconds. It was just so quick and just so great. And I looked up there and everyone was standing up. And I had a lot of friends at the competition and a lot of friends were watching it. And it was just special for them to share that with me.
To a large ovation from this crowd here in Hartwell Arena. 23-year-old Trifon Zivanovic taking the ice, the U.S. silver medalist. His first trip to the World Championships. Said he was extremely nervous skating in the qualifying, but had a great performance.
He's been so happy to be here. He has been attacking every practice session and giving 150%.
The music, Rocketeer. You know, the first jump had a very light landing. The second one, if you noticed, he put his second foot down, his free foot down, and it tapped a bit.
But I don't think there will be any deductions for that.
This a triple axel. Oh, that was a hold it on. Now And this is his spin, change spin, a sit spin. I see he gets down in the position, but the shoulders are uneven and sloppy, and the arms look as though he's lazy and tired. That can be improved. Flying spin. There's a nice energy and quality about him. A very appealing sort of style of skating. A little rough around the edges.
He's a real fighter.
A little scruffy, but it's very enjoyable to watch.
Here's a big jump for him. The triple lutz out of footwork. He really needs this.
He doubled it, and that'll kill him. Final spin combination. And that position, again, very weak. One change of foot. More than one change of position. Doesn't he know it? Doesn't he know it?
Well, he had a great start to this trip here in Helsinki. Didn't quite match it there, but a lot of American fans waving the flags here inside this arena. Trifon Zivanovic, 23-year-old from Los Angeles.
Here you see his triple flip, triple toe combination. He gets great height on this. He's perfectly centered. He lands with enough speed for the triple toe. He gets a triple toe off, but watch his left heel right here. It clips the ice on the checkout. It shouldn't really be a deduction because it didn't interfere with the technical landing of the triple toe jump.
But I'll bet you nickel to a plug donut that it will be a deduction. Whether it should or it shouldn't be is not the question.
7-4.
Trifon with his coach, Gary Visconti, a two-time U.S. champion, two-time world bronze medalist.
4-7.
Wide range for technical merit.
Oh, the marks crucifying him. They're very low. I think they took a real
4-8.
they took a real hit on the doubling of that Lutz jump.
Wide range for presentation, too. 4.8 to 5.7 for Trifon.
Thank you.
Trolley cars traveling through the heart of downtown Helsinki, this capital with 1 million people. Well, our coverage of the World Figure Skating Championships presented by MasterCard continues tomorrow night in prime time on ABC Sports as the men's world champion will be crowned then. And on Friday, we continue here on ESPN2 at 8 Eastern. We'll have the pairs short program, the original dance, and portions of the ladies short program. Saturday on ABC Sports, a skating doubleheader beginning at 2:30 Eastern, 3:30 Pacific. We'll see the pairs free skate and the completion of the ladies short program. And then again in prime time at 8 Eastern and Pacific, Michelle Kwan goes for her third world title with the ladies free skate on ABC. Also, we'll have coverage of the free dance on Saturday night. Back at the World Figure Skating Championships presented by MasterCard, and the tallest competitor here taking the ice right now, and maybe the most unique. No, not maybe. He is Laurent Helbel, the French national champion.
And the music from the motion picture Aliens and Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
As we watch Helbel, we'll tell you that the scores for Trifon Zivanovic range from 4.4 up to 5.7 overall. Not a bad performance for Trifon, but not what he had hoped for.
Ooh. Oh, wow. That was an amazing try.
I love that position. That's a place where an unpointed toe is worth its weight.
Well, you mentioned his height earlier, and it is so much more difficult for a tall guy to rotate, and there's so many rotations being done out there these days that it's hard to keep up.
6'4", that's his height. You don't see that very often on the ice.
That's a lot of body to get around.
Certain looks on the ice that you don't see very often either.
Well, he has a quality and a sense of theater about him that is very unusual in this sport. See here now, the technique of that sit spin is not good. He's not down low enough, but the head position is quite interesting. I must say, I like its work. Now, did you see the takeoff on that double axel? The edge just skidded right off. Circular footwork. You know, that's very difficult to use that character work and apply it to a program like this. I mean, that really is tough to do. To concentrate on those elements and still be choreographically inventive as he is.
Well, the French never cared much what the judges think anyway. Sergei Bonali and Philippe Candeloro, now Laurent Tobel. Back to Helsinki in a moment. Back in Helsinki for our coverage of the World Figure Skating Championships presented by MasterCard. Your leader right now, Andrei Vlashenko over Zhengjin Guo of China. And here is Dmitry Dimitrenko of Ukraine. He was the European champion all the way back in 1993. He's now 25 years of age.
This is the music is the choreography lesson by Shostakovich.
The scores for Laurent Tobel of France, who we just saw, range from 4.8 to 5.6 overall. And that puts him in 4th place.
There's that triple Lutz. He needed that because he was planning on doing a triple axel, triple toe at the beginning, and he had to turn the second jump into a double.
If you also notice, he has character at this program, creating the choreography lesson. The forward inside edge he's on there.
I think he just appreciates being here. For the last 2 years, he's been beaten out in the Ukraine for the spot to go to Worlds, and he's just happy to be back on world ice.
Likes Helsinki, too, because when he won the European title back in '93, this is exactly where it was.
Look at these moves. This is a very stylish skater. The choreography is very interesting. Positions. Totally unexpected. It shouldn't take off a lot, but it's certainly not going to add to his performance. But the choreography of this performance is truly interesting. I find him a very fascinating skater. position on the camel. You know, I know that was disappointing for him, but I really liked that skating. I really liked the program. I mean, he took a theme, he followed through on it. He did not let up on the impact of what it was that he was saying. He should get, in my opinion, a very high mark for the artistic impression.
And for the technical mark, because he really didn't make any mistakes. He just deleted a triple he put it into a double.
Now look right here, as this is the kind of thing every skater just is going to experience at some point in his life. Unintended, unnecessary, and you feel for him. And it shouldn't...
You put your head into your hands.
Oh,
that's all you can do.
Yep.
5-0, 5-1, 5-0.
I don't think he liked the marks.
5-1.
Dmitry Dimitrenko has taken off already. Not going to stick around and hear the second set. The first set, 4.7 to 5.1.
But the second set of marked considerably higher at 5.5 to 5.6, and certainly justified.
Dmitry halfway back to Ukraine at this point, and that puts him in 5th place overall. When we continue, the final group of men take the ice, including a 3-time world champion, a reigning world champion, Olympic champion, plus Michael Weiss. That's next. The night scene here in Helsinki, Finland, and a look outside the 13,000-seat Hartwelll Arena. We're back inside. We welcome you back to our coverage of the World Figure Skating Championships presented by MasterCard. The final group of men taking the ice right now. Andrei Blashenko has the lead here in the short program over Zheng Jinguo of China. But this is an elite field. You talk about this last group. It includes the reigning world champion, Alexei Yagudin, Dick. And
he's really out to prove the fact that he was right in leaving the tight little world of men's figure skating in St. Petersburg, of leaving Alexei Mishin and coming to the United States to work with Tatiana Tarasova.
How about Michael Weiss, the U.S. champion?
Well, he must be feeling a greater sense of confidence after having performed his first quadruple jump in competition, of being able to do it under pressure. And I think he's probably very happy about that. These jumps look very confident.
Yevgeny Plushenko of Russia, Brian.
Well, you know, he's grown a lot in the last year, and I see signs of him struggling with his consistency because of his new body.
Another Russian, the '94 Olympic champion Alexei Urmanov, had the groin injury over the past couple of years.
Yeah, and there's something different about the way he approaches competition. In the 6-minute warm-up for the qualifying round, he only did doubles. Maybe he's changed his tactics, or maybe it's an injury that, you know, that is keeping him back.
Speaking of injuries, the other man, the King, coming back from a groin injury.
Yeah, he had a great warm-up today. It was solid and confident, and I think that he's skating in a great order for him. It's last, and he's a fighter.
Elvis Stoico, a 3-time world champion. Well, here's the reigning world champion, though, only 19 years of age, and it may have seemed like a quick, easy rise to the top for Yagudin, but it's a wealth of life experiences that have made him a champion. And as Leslie Visser tells us, they haven't all been positive.
Growing up in St. Petersburg, Alexei Yagudin suffered hardships at an early age. As a boy, he and his mother were abandoned by Alexei's father. He was often so sick that doctors told Alexei's mother to find some sport, any sport, for her 4-year-old son to play.
My mother and my uncle were out for a walk, and they read an ad on a street lamp inviting children of my age to enroll in a figure skating class. My mother didn't take long to make the decision.
I'd never been a figure skating fan. I never meant for him to become a competitive skater. Of course, we were late for the tryout. The door was locked. By a sheer miracle, the coach came out and said, "One more boy? Come on in."
In walked the future world champion with a talent even his mother recognized.
When I got a little older, like 8 or 9, my mother was still working with me. We would go to an outdoor ice rink and skate a lot, in addition to my training. I think she made a big investment in me, and I feel that I'm still using that reserve which she helped me create.
The bond between mother and son was solidified not only on the ice, but from living in a 2-bedroom communal apartment where Alexei and his mother shared a room, as well as sharing a kitchen and a bathroom with another family. Alexei dreamed dreams of securing an apartment for his family rather than of winning a world championship.
He realized that I could never get an apartment by myself, and buying one was out of the question. He always dreamed of having his own place, at least his own room, not a whole house, but just his own little corner where he could have his stuff and where he could feel like the boss.
Last year, at the age of 18, Alexei became the first men's world champion from post-Soviet Russia. That victory, along with wins at the 1998 European Championships and other competitions, meant that Alexei was able to save enough money to give back to the one person who'd given him so much. He was able to move his mother into their own two-bedroom apartment.
Everything I did in my life, I did it because I had to. It's so tiring to skate every day. I wake up every morning and I think, my God, again I have so much I have to get done today. But that's my life, and I have to make myself get up. Now, of course, I'm not skating just to make money. I want to repeat as world champion. I want to win the Olympics.
He's in good position to be the world champion, but he has a slight injury to his left calf, which he says makes some jumps more difficult. His triple toe, triple axel, triple salchow, that's because those jumps all have a left-footed takeoff. That puts more pressure on his left leg. Yagudin said he can feel the injury even walking down the street, but it will in no way prevent him from competing for the world championship. Terry?
All right, Leslie, thank you. Just moments ago, too, during the warm-up.
Look at that right there. He pulled that. I suspect that that's part of the problem of his leg hurting him. But, you know, he's very, very strong. He's very powerful. He wants this more than anything. He's out to prove himself.
Take a look at the skate order right now. It is Alexei Yagudin who will be first to skate in this final group, followed by Alexei Urmanov, one of the other Russians, of course, then Takeshi Honda. And his birthday being celebrated on Tuesday. Michael Weiss, the U.S. champion. Yevgeny Plishenko. And then Elvis Stoico, the three-time world champ from Canada. Well, no one can doubt his perseverance, fighting through all that he's had to in life, and now the injury here in Helsinki. We'll see how much it affects him. Alexei Yagudin, the reigning world champion, the two-time and reigning European champion.
And the costume. The reason for it, the music, Russian circus.
And coming up is his triple axel, triple toe loop jump, and nobody has more hang time in the air than this man when he gets a great takeoff.
Did you notice how over-rotated he was on the landing? He didn't check the landing of the triple axel, and that over-rotated it into the triple toe loop. And nobody can make a mistake in this short program if they expect to hold on to the top place. Triple Lutz.
That was beautiful. Now, that was one of the triples that doesn't hurt his left calf. He's been having a little bit of trouble with that left calf, and he said sometimes when he's walking down the street, it'll just collapse. That's a beautiful death drop. You don't see him better than that.
Been spending time lately in St. Petersburg, Russia, his hometown. Grand Prix final was held there a few weeks ago, but he'll head back along with Tatiana Tarasova to Freehold, New Jersey to live and train after this championship.
Well, I don't think that he liked this skating order too well, because I saw him backstage earlier, and I said, what did you draw? He said, I drew first. And I said, well, that's good. And he said, why? And he shrugged his shoulders. He would definitely rather skate later.
Well, overall, that was a very strong performance, but one major error on that triple toe loop combination. But otherwise, very, very solid performance.
Yeah, he's really grown. As he gets older and older, he matures and he becomes a man and he skates like a man.
Well, you know, he's not gray-haired and all yet. He's only 19 years old. He's got a long way ahead of him.
Here you see his triple axel, triple toe. He doesn't get as much hang time on this triple axel. He lands here. He's a little over-rotated. He has to recheck his arms and go for the triple. It slows his momentum down and he can't hang on to it.
We'll see how much the one mistake really did cost him. There's Tatiana Tarasova. Next, Alexei Yagudin. First set of marks for technical merit, 5.4 to 5.6.
Well, you know, even a tenth of a point at this level can be very crucial.
He was in first place in his qualifying group, though, so he comes from a good position there. The presentation marks, 5.6 up to 5.9, and Yagudin now has the lead. When we come back, Alexei Urmanov, the 94 Olympic champion, takes the ice, looking for the one international prize he has yet to claim, a world championship. He'll skate when we come back to Helsinki. 25 years of age, the elder statesman, if you will, when you talk about that Russian triumphant. Alexei Urmanov, the 94 Olympic gold medalist.
The music, Toccata and Fugue by Bach.
Safe to say he's a different skater than he was at that point, though. He's had the groin injury. Kind of like a pitcher who loses his fastball in his later years and has to go to something else.
Speed going into this.
Didn't have enough speed on that triple axel to do the triple toe afterwards.
But it was a very good first jump. Excellent.
He needs this. This is his triple Lutz out of the footwork. Beautiful.
Nice.
He really is a great performer. He has matured so well, and when you're sitting here live, he lights up the crowd. He lights up the auditorium.
He has a constant awareness of style and dance through the program. Slightly angular and offbeat, off-center. But nevertheless, he doesn't ever drop that quality throughout the program.
He almost went down on his footwork, too. It's not a good footwork night.
Shades of Dmitry Dimitrenko.
Yeah.
Did you notice how he rose up first before he dropped into that sit spin? Jump over to a back sit spin. Position should be somewhat lower. Now watch this straight line footwork. Watch the slide that he gets into in the middle of it. Right there. Final combination. Difficult position forward back in the camel.
Biggest reaction from the crowd all night.
It was a very solid performance all the way around. I think that the fact that he did a triple-double combination It might hurt him a few fractions of a point, but that was the same thing that was done by Yagudin.
Here you see his triple axel, what's going to be a triple toe. He gets great height. It's a great jump. He's a little far forward. He slows down on the landing. He can't get the extra rotation because of the momentum. Here he comes around for a circular footwork, and he's going to see right here. He just gets overboard, and he catches an edge, and he can't control it.
5-5.
Well, he's won 5 Russian championships, the European title,
5-4,
the Olympics, but never a world title. Now, the first set of marks, 5.4 to 5.6.
Well, it puts him in second place in this short program.
5-7.
You know, overall, after the presentation marks, 5.7 to 5.9 as he sits alongside Alexei Mishin. He is now in second place behind Alexei Yagudin. When we continue from Helsinki, Takeshi Honda takes the ice. The two-time Japanese national champion skates when we return in a moment. Welcome back to our coverage of the 1999 World Figure Skating Championships presented by MasterCard. Your leaderboard right now. 2 Russians at the top. Yagudin, the reigning world champ, ahead of Romanov, then Vlashenko of Germany, as Takeshi Honda of Japan takes the ice.
He's got one of the technically most difficult programs planned, and you might think it's a little risky for him to be doing a quad, but in the years to come, when he's going to be at the top of his competition, he's going to need it.
First, the triple axel combination. Again, a double, not a triple. These guys can do triples with their left hand tied behind their back, but not in the short program so far. Except for Yagudin. Down right underneath it.
There were 6 successful quad jumps in qualifying. He tried one and 2-footed his. Now he's fallen in the short program.
You know, it was still gutsy of him to do that.
Casey's still not 100%. He injured his ankle in January and had to take a month off the ice. So he's still very sore.
Had a little trouble on the takeoff of that double axel.
They came in with a lot of confidence. He had just won an international competition, the 4 continents competition. Twice the Japanese national champion. Had some problems here in the short, though.
And look at this. First, as he lifts into this, you see the edge, how it skidded over. That caused the trouble on the landing and the fact that he couldn't be in a position and able to do a triple as the second part of that combination. But look at this quad toe right here. Now, watch the step, the toe pick, the good tight position in the air, but just the landing was out of control, out of position, and of course he was so close to the barrier that he smacked right into it.
Casey Honda with his coach Doug Lee over on the right. He also coaches Elvis Stoico, of course. First set of marks for technical merit, 5.0 to 5.3.
Not very satisfactory for somebody in his position.
5.5.
And now for presentation, 5.3 to 5.7. That puts him in 4th place overall behind Lashenko.
5.5, 5.5, and 5.4.
And up next here in Helsinki, the U.S. champion Michael Weiss. At the U.S. Nationals, he fell on his quadruple attempt. Then, at the Grand Prix final 2 weeks ago, almost, but he two-footed it. In qualifying here in Helsinki, he nails it for the first time in competition. A sign of how far he has come this season.
I think putting together a solid, consistent year was something that was very important for me in gaining the respect of the judges and building my confidence throughout the year. I've skated solidly in all the events that I've been in this year, and I think that's a key. I've used each one as a stepping stone and a building block in order for me to get to the point where I am now.
So this is the way things stand. Alexei Yagudin of Russia, the reigning world champion, first place, ahead of countryman Alexei Armanov, and then Andrei Vlashenko, Takeshi Honda. But here is the reigning U.S. champion. There is folks, too. Marjorie and Greg cheering him on. They went nuts in the qualifying when Michael Weiss completed his first quad jump in competition. Here he is in the short program.
The music Egmont Overture by Beethoven.
And it looks as if Michael's changed his pants since the warm-up. He had a different pair of pants on than he has now. And when you have to do something like that, it can sometimes distract you when you have other things on your mind other than the job at hand.
Part of the intricate strategy of taking the ice, changing your pants before you go out there.
No quad this time, instead a triple axel. Oh, look at the scrape off on that edge. I cannot believe that. And yet he pulled off an absolutely terrific one.
Beautiful. His best triple, a triple Lutz. It's so easy for him.
You know, this entire program has been strong and powerful and straightforward. I think this is one of his better starts.
And this is actually his European program. He does a classical program in Europe, and he does a rock and roll program when he's in the North American region.
Did the Van Halen program at the U.S. Championships.
Two-footed on that first triple flip, but he still pulled off that triple toe. That was a real fighter.
Good for him. This is one of his best performances that I've seen him do. Nice position. That's nice.
They're up out of their seats, and it's not just his parents. Michael Weiss believing even more now that he's got a chance to medal here at the World Championships. His wife, Lisa, there's Audrey Wisiger, his longtime coach. Smiles all around. Well, he's got to be thrilled with this.
Well, I think we have to be very congratulatory because he's a long time coming. He's been struggling for a long time, and how nice it is to see when it finally takes off, you know. Now, the takeoff edge here is the most interesting part. Look at how that skids, and he almost leaves part of the turn on the ice. But the jump was high and straight and good edge coming out. That was very nice. This combination, though, a little more problematical. Watch as he does a 4-5-6 into this right there. Now, watch the landing. A slight, I almost think there was a tap there, a double foot tap, but he did do a triple on the second part of the combination, which some of the other skaters were forced to drop off.
Well, the judges aren't going to miss much here because at the World Championships they have instant replay. They can take a second look after the performance. There it is right there. They can hit a number and pull up any one of the 8 elements that they want to and take a look.
And there you see 2 of the marks that he had. We have a sneak preview of that.
This has got to be excruciating now, though, for Michael Weiss. He sits there and he just waits.
Well, you know, it was a first-rate performance. It had energy and completeness to it, and that was very nice to see.
Here's the first set now, Dick, for technical merit. That's a wide range.
But the technical merit is really very good. Mostly all 5-6s and 5-7s.
All the way down to a couple of 5-3s, too. And now for presentation. 5.4 to 5.8. And Michael Weiss moving into second place ahead of Romanov and behind Yagudin.
Thank you.
Coming up next from Helsinki, Yevgeny Plushenko, a member of that Russian troika. In fact, the Russian national champion. He'll skate next. Welcome back to Helsinki, Finland, and the World Figure Skating Championships presented by MasterCard. A reminder, stay tuned to ESPN2 for NBA Tonight. Coming up next, look at all the nightly news and highlights along with strategies, philosophies, and the latest from around the NBA.
Plushenko, Venäjä, Russia.
Alexei Yagudin, Michael Weiss, and then Alexei Romanov, your top 3. As the 16-year-old Yevgeny Plushenko of Russia steps onto the ice. He was the bronze medalist a year ago at the World Championships.
The music, Hava Nagila.
Beautiful. Triple axel, triple toe. He had so much speed in between the 2 jumps, that triple toe just flew.
That was the best of this entire competition.
Absolutely.
Oh, wow. Did you see the lean on that? Woo.
Now he's got the 2 hardest things out of the way. His job is to sell the rest of the program and don't make any more mistakes. He's going to go wild on this footwork.
He's out of control. And his final spin, combination spin. Watch the catch foot Spielman position right here.
And he knows he's had the best performance of the night.
Well, you know something? It was a very interesting performance. The combination spin at the end, not a great spin at all. It slowed down. The positions weren't good. The jumps at the beginning were terrific.
He had everybody in the house right here in the palm of his hand within the first 30 seconds, though, and he knew it.
But he also, I also think that he let it slow down at the end, and that might hurt him a little bit.
His triple axel, triple toe. Watch the height. Watch how far he travels across the ice. He lands with so much speed that helps him pole vault into the air and do an even better triple toe. The best one of the evening. Here's his footwork. And you see he just really lets it loose and goes out of control in a controlled way. But this is what gets the audience going, and it gets what the people behind him.
The Russian national champion trying to become the youngest men's world champion ever. Now the first set of marks. 5.7 to 5.9.
Those are very high. And so are the artistic compression marks.
Now the presentation marks 5.7 to 5.9 as well. And Kushenko into first place ahead of Yagudin.
Those are extremely high, the artistic compression marks.
And up next, Elvis Stojko, who completed a quad in qualifying and says his injury is no longer a major issue.
The injury has been sort of a roller coaster ride the last year. And at the moment, it's been feeling quite good as long as I don't overstress it. I can stress it more, obviously, than I did in the fall. But it's at a point now where it's not really an issue. It doesn't affect my movement. It doesn't affect me mentally. I don't really feel it when I'm skating.
Back at the World Figure Skating Championships, presented by MasterCard, the men's short program continues with Elvis Stojko. Kushenko, the Russian national champion, is in the lead over the reigning world champion Yagudin, and then Michael Weiss, the U.S. champion. But here is Elvis starting his quest for a fourth world title.
The music, titled Lion, Kodo drums.
And there is no more difficult place than to be in this man's position right now after a great performance. He knows that. He has the hardest technical program planned, and he needs to hit it.
Question is what he'll do here at this next move, whether it will be a quadruple toe or a triple Lutz.
It's going to be the quad. Two-footed. Yeah.
Good speed on this sit spin.
Short program where 30% of the overall score, the free skate. You can catch that tomorrow night, 9 o'clock Eastern, over on ABC Sports.
Straight line footwork. This is some of the best of the night.
He's really going all out on this. He is moving on this footwork. He's giving it 150%.
And that's very, very difficult footwork, too. Final move, combination spin.
That was a gutsy performance.
It was a wonderful performance. I think it would have been a very difficult marking situation had he done a triple-triple combination at the beginning. But he didn't, and that's the name of the game.
There's an intensity there that just is
wonderful.
not there with most of the other skaters.
That's right.
3 times the world champion. Trying to win his 4th. Forget about the injury. He's as confident as ever. Setting him up for the free skate. Elvis Stojko back with his marks in a moment. He didn't complete the quad, but Elvis Stojko had just about everything else here in his short program. He awaits his marks now.
His triple axel here, if you watch, he gets a great takeoff. He's leaning a little bit outside the circle. His check is hard to hold, so he has to turn it into a double instead of a triple toe loop. Here's his quad. He pole vaults off the left toe. He doesn't quite get the quickness he needs at the beginning, and he doesn't quite get the rotation at the end, and he 2-foots it.
So with all the quadromania going around here, they talk about the quads. We've seen one successful quad jump tonight, and that was from Guo of China.
Who was way down in the rankings.
Yeah.
5-4.
So the first set now for Elvis. Here they are.
5-4.
Some 5.4s there that he is not happy about at all, up to a 5.8.
6. Presentation. 5.
And now for presentation, Dick, 5.5 to 5.9.
I think those are very fine marks. He should be very proud of that. It was a good presentation.
5-8.
And it does put him in the top 3, although you no longer necessarily control your own destiny in the free skate if you're in the top 3 going in.
Everybody at home. Hi, Barry. Hey, Canada. Hey, America. North America.
So the Russian champion, 16-year-old Yevgeny Plushenko, in the lead going into the free skate ahead of Yagudin, Stojko, and then Michael Weiss, who is terrific.